Okay, so today I'm going to discuss about loops in Python, and this is our series of videos on different basic constructs used in Python programming. So what I'm going to discuss today consists of what we can achieve by loops, then how the range function in Python can help us in making use of the loops, then two very useful looping statements in Python, which are the making use of the for loop and the while loop. So when you want to repeat a certain set of statements in any programming language like Python, you can make use of the loops. And before that, we will like to have an understanding of the range function, as this can also be used in executing the looping statements. So when I make use of the range function, I need to give some parameter which is going to be an integer, and the range function will execute from the index 0 to the index n minus 1. So it is just like creating a list of n elements, and like in a list we can iterate from 0 to 1 less than the number of elements in the list. So in the same way the range function also works. So just as an example, if we pass 4, then the range function will execute from 0 to 3. So we can also give two parameters. In that case, first one is going to be the start index, and the range function will iterate from the start index to 1 less than the upper bound you gave in the parameter, which in this case was 20. So in this case, it will be iterating over 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. So it is just like working on a list with a certain number of elements in it. So now we move towards the discussion of for loops. So the for loop is a loop like in many other programming languages in which you have to give certain condition, until those conditions or a condition remain true, the loop will execute, and when that condition becomes false, the loop will terminate. So generally you have to give some starting condition and a terminating condition. So a loop performs a task repeatedly on the basis of some condition remaining true. For example, if I want to fill these blank circles with some color, so I can keep repeating until I have some color elements available, and I have space available in the blank circle. So this was just a concept of how we can repeat certain things. We can do it in different ways. For example, if I have a list, in this case I have a list of circles which varies from index 0 to index 4, and now I want to replace each colored circle with a black circle. So one way is that I start doing it and start assessing the indices, and for each index I replace the color with a black circle. In this case, I will have to execute the assignment statement 5 times, and then the result will be that all the colored circles will be replaced with a black circle. So this is when you do without a loop. So in that case, you will have to invoke the assignment statement 5 times. So if you want to make use of the range function, so let's assume that we have a list which has these 5 elements, which are the different colors of the circle, the gray, red, blue, yellow, and green. And I want to make use of a loop, and I want to invoke it through a range function. So I can just have an integer which iterates over the elements of this range, and in this case it will be from 0 to 5 minus 1, it will be 4. So that also happens to be the indices of this list: 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now I will be assessing each element through its index in this list, which will be ranging from 0 to 4. So and now I can assign circle I equal to black. So each index will be replaced with black instead of the color which was stored there. So now I don't have to repeat the assignment statement 5. I just make use of the for loop, and I get the same result which I did on the previous slide. So in this case, the loop will be achieving the result of this assignment of a black color to a colored circle by means of these statement circles I equal to black. So there is also a direct method in Python for making use of a loop. What is that? So we have again the same list of colored circles, and then I just need to create a circle object, which is from the circles, which is a list of colored circle or circle colors. And now I can just, for example, try to print out these colors. If I write just circle, so I will get the color stored at each of the index. So it will be iterating over this list by starting from the first element to till the end element, and it will be printing out what is stored at each of these indices. Now another one is to make use of the enumerate method. How does this work? So again, we have this list of circle colors, and I can invoke the enumerate by having two of these variables. For I make use of the for statement. I have an I number or integer, and I create an object to assess what is stored inside the list in terms of its colors, and I enumerate over the circles object, which happens to be this list. So these two variables are being created. One is for the index, which varies from 1 to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the circle is basically going to assess what is stored at each of these indices. So if I try to print I comma circle, so I will get the result in terms of the index and what was stored at that particular index. So if my list was represented internally like this, so the output will be like this. I will have 0 index, and the stored value is gray, and then index 1 red, and so on till index 4, and I have this value green, which is stored here. So we can also make use of the while loop, which is also like a for loop, except that it executes until a certain condition is true. So it is also called a non-determinate loop. We don't have to express some sort of an upper bound. We have to just express the terminating condition as a Boolean condition, somewhat different to the for loop. So a while loop does have a terminating condition like the for loop. So every looping construct which you can express as a while loop can also be expressed as a for loop also. So in this case, I create a new squares list which is empty initially. Then I have this variable I equal to 0, and now I put a condition inside the body of the parenthesis of the loop that till the time circles I equal gray, I want to retrieve the color gray and store it in the new squares list which I just created there. So when this becomes another color other than the gray color, then this loop will terminate. So I'm not explicitly specifying some number or some other thing to terminate the loop. I am just giving it a condition which when becomes false, then the loop will terminate. And then I increase the index or increment the index. I is equal to I plus 1. So initially it will be here, and it's in this condition is met. So it will put gray inside this new square, then it will go to the increment I. So next time I will be 1, and then it will again test this condition. It is again gray, and it will append another gray to new squares dot append, and when I is equal to I plus 1, it becomes 2, and here it is the condition will become false. So therefore it will break out of the loop, and we can have just 2 elements in the new squares list. So it's now time to switch to the Google Colab demo of the loops. So let's have a demo. So let's create a list, call it circles. And first I would like to make use of the range function. So since I have these elements 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, I can just mention this, and I forgot a colon at the end of this. Now what I want to say is I want to there seems to be a spelling mistake. Now if I press Control Enter, I'm seeing okay. So I have to give this square brackets. So there you see green, black, red, yellow, and gray, which were the elements of this list. So you can also, for example, give for example 4 here. In that case, it will just print the first 4 elements instead of till the 5th element. You can also give it like 0, 5, which was the case we discussed. We can actually give 2 parameters, so it will start from 0 and go till 1 less than the upper bound which we provided in this case. So then there is another possibility which is called a direct method, and you can invoke a loop by for circle in circles, and I want to print what is there. So in this case I have not created any number. I just create an object of type circle, and that object is going to use to iterate over the elements of this circles list. So in this case we can print circle by making an object called circle. So also we can make use of the enumerate for I comma, let's say circle in enumerate. So in this case we will just see the index is printed alongside the elements at each index. So you can make use of any one of these. For example, if I write circle, I just get the colors of the circle. If I just write I can just get indices which are of the present in this list. So that was all for today's demo. Thank you very much. In the next video, I will come up with a new topic in Python programming. Thank you.